Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Chandler. I am here with you today because my company, Cummins Inc., and the Cummins Foundation has been working on a youth education program for about 9 years now. And we have been working on that program in partnership with IYF, the sponsor of this very program. So what I wanted to do is spend a few minutes with you to tell you a little bit about Cummins, the Cummins Foundation, and the work that we do, and show you a little bit about our education program, TEC, Technical Education for Communities, and our partnership with IYF. It has been a fascinating journey full of incredibly interesting learnings, and I'm happy to be sharing them with you. I'm recording, obviously, from a home. I wish I could be here with you today. I know all of us are remote and are taking a great precaution to remain healthy and safe. So you'll see me at different times approach the computer and switch the slides, and I'm sure make a few mistakes. But please bear with me as we move through these slides. So let me tell you a little bit about TEC, Technical Education for Communities. In 2011, I had just started working for Cummins, and the president of our company came to the foundation where we center all of our community work and asked us to help solve a problem. And the problem that he was seeing is that in our communities, there were many youth who were not employed in good paying jobs. At the same time, companies like ours were constantly looking for skilled employees to do our ever more complicated jobs. So to understand that, let me tell you a little bit about Cummins. Cummins makes power generation equipment. We make big engines that go into, for example, on-highway trucks, or a huge generator that might power your local hospital. At the same time, like most companies, we are very concerned about the environment, and we are moving to more and more complicated and technologically advanced ways of generating power, including hybrid vehicles and motors, electric motors, fuel cell driven motors. So as our technology was becoming more and more advanced, the skills that we needed to work on those engines had become more and more advanced. And we felt like many of the schools around the world, including those in the US, had failed to teach young people the skills to keep up with the jobs for tomorrow. So we started TEC, Technical Education for Communities. I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is a young man named Jumbo. Jumbo was a young man living in Lagos, Nigeria, when at the time that we started one of our first Technical Education for Communities programs. We started at a vocational technical school in Lagos. And as a part of that program, we recruited promising young people like Jumbo to come into the program, learn basic technical skills and advanced technical skills, including how to work on a complicated engine, how to use basic electricity, how to use difficult to use power tools and hand tools. And so Jumbo was an example of the type of young person who came into our TEC programs and went through the program. So let me tell you a little bit about what we call the global education imperative. Jumbo was facing a situation in his community that was not unique. As I said, many of the people that were available, young people that were available to go in to jobs didn't quite have the skill sets that they needed to acquire those jobs. And at the same time, unemployment in our communities was rising. Communities were suffering because of these skill gaps And as I said, a lot of employers couldn't quite find the skills levels that they needed. So quality of life was going down, and sadly, some of the best jobs paying good wages were remaining unfilled. So a lot of people like Jumbo were faced with dropping out of school to earn enough money to support their families. And this was an increasingly common problem in our communities. In 2018, a talent shortage survey found that skilled trades, which include mechanics, electricians, welders, and more, were in the top 5 hardest jobs to fill. This is how Cummins began working with the International Youth Foundation to solve the problem. We discovered that the most successful community education programs tried to align the material taught in school with the needs of employers in the community who had all of these good jobs. It seems somewhat simple, but it's actually quite difficult. Some of the skills that employers needed were, yes, technical skills, how to work on a complicated engine, or how to work on a manufacturing line, and the increasingly complicated robotics that we see on manufacturing lines. These are fabulous jobs. I know Cummins manufacturing jobs are wonderful jobs in gleamingly clean, safe manufacturing facilities, and yet not enough people to fill those jobs. The technical skills that were needed were complementary to, or in addition to, what we call soft skills. Those skills that are not about working on an engine, but are more about working with people. Those skills that include how to communicate well, how to listen to sort of instructions and follow them. How about if there's conflict in your job? Do you walk away and not address the conflict, or do you try to address the conflict like you're standing too close to me, or I don't understand what you said, or you told me to do this and now you're telling me to do that? So those soft skills about how to speak to each other, how to resolve conflict, what to wear to work, okay? One of the hardest issues that we all have to deal with, especially in this environment, how to show up to work on time. All of those soft skills were as important as the technical skills that we were seeking to teach. So as a part of starting these schools up around the world, we knew we not only needed to ship equipment and curriculum, the learning that the students would need to gain on the technical level, but we also needed this soft skills curriculum. And as you probably know by now, the International Youth Foundation had really the industry standard, top-notch curriculum for teaching soft skills that we had ever seen. And so Cummins TEC partnered with IYF. IYF let us use their curriculum. We packaged it all up and we began working with vocational technical schools all around the world to advance the skills of young people and path them through an educational program and into the best paying jobs. Amazingly, since 2011, Cummins TEC has been started in 24 different schools all around the world. And so you can see this map that we're in Peru, South Africa, Australia, China, India, Casablanca, Morocco, Romania. We've even started a tech site in the United States. So 24 schools around the world. We have classes of young people starting up all around the world every year. And to date, we have graduated 1,400 tech students from our program using IYF soft skills curriculum and our technical curriculum. The IYF curriculum, known as Passports to Success, a great name, was so effective that in Romania and in Brazil, our employees induced the Passports to Success curriculum to schools outside the tech program. So our students would go out into jobs and spread the good word about how effective the soft skills curriculum was, and employers in their community or in schools asked to pick it up and teach it to their own students. In addition, some of our own employees in Latin America purchased the soft skills curriculum for our own Cummins employees, young people or any employee who had just started work with Cummins, and we thought that the idea of soft skills, how to communicate, how to show up to work, how to work through conflict, was so essential to a job well done that we began teaching the curriculum to our own students. In addition to technical education for communities, advancing so many young people into good paying jobs, you may be aware of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the big global goals that the United Nations sets and inspires countries and employers and nonprofits all over the world to set the aim to achieve. So no poverty, of course, a goal that we all have. Technical education for communities solves that by teaching skills that lead to good jobs. Quality education, improving the curriculum, the teaching, the guidance counseling in these 24 schools around the world. And of course, decent work and economic growth. In tech, in a school program, in any of these schools around the world, we focus on 5 main elements. Market relevant skills, that's what I was talking about. We're teaching the skills at the school that are needed by employers outside the school so that when students emerge, they can get the jobs that are open, that are good paying jobs. High quality curriculum, the best way to teach electricity, the best electrical boards with the right clear markings that are safe and clear. Effective teachers. This is very difficult when you have increasingly complex equipment. How do you find the teachers that can understand the equipment and then teach it to the students? Career and guidance counseling. Of course, the goal is to bring students into the tech program who aspire to work in technical vocational jobs. But sometimes people come in and, as you know, you start learning something and you think, I actually don't like that. I can't see myself in that career. So the essential role of guidance counselors in speaking to students and guiding them ably on a path to a successful career. And then this is really important, workplace and classroom learning. The idea that the classroom part of learning, where you're sitting at a table, sometimes listening to a teacher, sometimes getting up and working on the engine or working on the electrical board, that's essential. But going out and working in internships with employers along your course of study is really important because, as we all know, the classroom part of learning is only one relatively small part of how we learn in our lives. Going out and actually experiencing the job and the workplace is critically important to preparing people for jobs. So here's a picture of a woman named Amina in Morocco. She went through our tech program. We work very hard to get women into tech. It has tended to be a program where predominated by young men. But we want more women to have the opportunity to go into these really high-paying jobs in their communities so they too can help support themselves and their family. And here Amina went through the program, and as she says, she is delighted to have a secure job that gives her financial stability, helps her support her family and plan for the future. And she aspires one day to actually be a manager, to manage other people like her coming out of school. The outcomes of tech have been incredibly impressive, and for a long time we collected data on what was happening to students as they came into the program and then went out. I'm happy to say that, as you can see, the dark green blocks are the percentage of students starting in 2015 who were able to secure good jobs. And then the light green are the percentage of students who go on to additional education, which is also good. So a typical tech program is 2 to 3 years. And some students decide that they want to go on to a 4-year university education. Some people go into graduate education, but all of that is excellent. And as you can see, in 2019, we approached over 80% of our students who were able to gain good jobs or go on to higher education. Again, our second goal, we wanted the wages for jobs that people were able to gain after tech to exceed living wage. That wage that is the minimum amount of money that can support a single person or a family. And what we found is that the living wage, in this case, that's the dark green part of the block, was achieved by that percentage of students. And then the light green is the amount above living wage that tech graduates received. So again, very good outcomes of the tech program. Employers that we surveyed routinely told us that the tech students exceeded their expectations of what a new employee should look like and exceeded the skill level of other students hired from other schools. So really excellent outcomes for tech students. This is the employer survey that we talked about. And if you'll notice, like here are the cooperation and teamwork. That's the IYF soft skills curriculum, adaptability, initiative taking, work habits, problem solving. Those were those soft skills that were essential to employers and the Passport Success curriculum was able to teach. This is another quote from a former tech student, Tai Lin. And so what he's saying here, he was happy he didn't procrastinate anymore, applied for the tech program, got into the tech program, and he's now, as you see, working in front of a beautiful brand new truck, hopefully with a Cummins engine in it, doing what he loves. So that's my presentation for today. I really wish we could all be together and I could answer questions live about the tech program, about the Passports to Success program of IYF. Hopefully in the coming years we can do this again and I can see you in person. There's nothing that I love more than talking to young people about their career aspirations, about their education, about my own education and pathway here to this job. But in the meantime, thank you for attending. Please stay healthy and safe, and I'll look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you.
One of the things that I found most endearing to IIT, because any school can teach you the technical aspects of the job, but then the soft skills or the emotive parts that really helps you connect with the customer and can move you in life the further you move up the ladder. That was what laid the foundation for me. So from the first class, learning about freedom and choice and how my circumstances don't necessarily dictate how I eventually end up was really useful to me, and it has been the foundation, the block that I've built upon to improve on my character and help me deliver excellent service to both customers and family. I remember a conversation I had with one of the instructors at the school. So it was before my internship, maybe about 5-6 months before, during the in-school phase of the program. And we just finished power generation, a module provided by Cummins. And I was talking with the instructor in the staff room, and I was like I really want to go into power generation. I'm interested about this space, and I would like to work at Cummins. And I was speaking to him about it, but I noticed the passion with which I spoke during that conversation was not normal for me. Ordinarily, I'm not a very excitable person, but when we had that conversation, seeing how passionate I was about wanting to work in power generation after that module that Cummins did was really it for me. And as luck would have it, or as providence would have it, I did eventually intern at Cummins, and currently level 2 apprentice looking to graduate soon. The tech program has provided me with the skills I need to have a shortened learning curve. So when I'm introduced to a new environment, it takes me on average maybe half the time someone else would use to learn whatever skill it is. So I find that I easily learn skills, and then like I said, IIT and the IYF programs really dug into the that's emotional intelligence and soft skills part of the business. So it has really helped me to know how to manage people and how to learn skills fast.
My only advice is for any youth that really wants to be independent, that really wants to take responsibilities of his life and account for each deed and each step taken. For the youth to go back, think about what it can add to the city, to the society, and to the community. Not just taking, but what you can give. So if you think of what you can give, it drives you to go into what you can do to make you give.